morning, boys and girls. I am filming this a little bit late, but this is just going to be a quick little overview of the answers to the science study guide that you did yesterday. Your test is tomorrow. Just wanted to make sure that you guys knew all the answers, even though most of them are exactly from the notes. So I'm going to present over to Bright Thinker. And let's take a look at the study guide that you did yesterday. Oops. No, sorry, I'm going to actually pull it up separately. And here it is. Human Body Study Guide. Okay, I'm going to make a copy of this and just fill in the right answers. Okay, so we're basically just filling in what is the type of system. We've learned about each one of these with more detail about the different organs in this system, but basically just thinking through what does this system do. We've got the body's transportation system, ensures that different systems of your bodies are coordinated, excretes or removes other wastes from the body, all the bones, cartilage, and ligaments in the body, handles the body's air supply, digests or breaks down food into nutrients, and all the muscles and tendons in the body. So, if you're unsure about any of these, I would suggest skipping to the ones that you know. And here's a hint. We've got some that have the actual name of the system as part of the definition, like digests or breaks down food into nutrients. Well, it says it right there, digest. So it's F. Digestive system digests or breaks down the food into nutrients, and then your body can use it for energy. Now we've got some also that have the same word, like all the muscles and tendons in the body. Well, that tells you muscular system, right? The muscular system involves all of the muscles in your body, muscles and tendons, which includes muscles that are actually part of other body systems. Are there any others that you feel like you can just figure out right away? By the way, I'm going to change the wording of this one, the body's transportation. That should be transportation of blood throughout the body. Hopefully some of these also, like air supply, makes you think of respiratory, right? Your respiratory system handles the air supply, like your lungs and your body. And all the bones, cartilage and ligaments in the body, bones are in the skeletal system, that's right. We've got circulatory, excretory, and nervous next. Now, I see one that also has the same word in the definition as is in the word. Excretes for excretory. Excretes means removes other waste from the body. So your sweat and urine is part of this. So excretory comes from that same base. Excretory system is C. So we're left with circulatory and nervous. Those are the two that I would think you might have had a little harder time with. Now, the ones that we have left are A and B. So the body's transportation, once again, I'm going to say the transportation of blood circulation throughout your body, or something along those lines. This should be the circulatory system. It's the system that deals with the transportation of the flow of blood throughout your body. providing oxygen throughout your body. And then ensures that different systems of your body are coordinated. I know it went off on the wording of that, but the nervous system does that. The nervous system involves your brain and nerves. So it makes sure that all of your body parts and body systems are working together, sending messages to and from the brain. From the brain to the parts of your body. And then, so that's B. Okay, so there are your answers for the first section. Next part, fill in the blanks with the correct word. The inside of bones are blank. This one I'd understand if you said a couple different things, like there's marrow inside your bones. Some of you might have thought that, but the word we're looking for here is hollow. And so it's hollow. It's not just solid bone throughout what your bones are. Now, there's hollow parts, and then it's filled with things like marrow, but hollow is the word we're looking for. Blank keeps your bones strong. What is it that keeps your bones strong? You know what? I'm going to have to look this one up. I'm trying to remember what it was. Looking in the notes. Which you're welcome to do that as well if there's some where you're like, what is it? We're supposed to write here. Calcium. Yeah, I think it should be calcium for this one. But I may delete that from the test since it's not something that, I'm even coming to my mind of exactly what they're looking for there. But we're going to put calcium. Meaning you can have calcium in your diet that, and this is true, that keeps your bones strong. But also with this one, basically calcium makes the outside of your bones very hard and strong. So I'm sure that's what it's supposed to be. I'm just not seeing this exact wording in your notes. But calcium does keep your bones strong. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind. That's the first thing I see that would be somewhat connected to it in the notes too. Okay, the spine, skull, and rib cage support the center of your body and are what types of bones? Do you remember this one? We've got two major types of bones. We've got appendicular bones, and we have, I'm looking for it actually, in the axial skeleton. So the axial skeleton is the one that is your kind of core of your body right here, and the appendicular bones, appendages are like these extra parts, or like the appendix in a book, if that helps you. So basically, those are the extra things that are hanging off your legs and arms would be appendicular. But this is axial. The axial skeleton is the one that is the main core of your body. Now, the femur, tibia, and fibula are what types of bones? Appendicular. Appendicular means like they hang off, basically. What is an invisible light that doctors use to see your bones? X-ray, that's right. Specific type of light ray. What is the longest and most powerful tendon? Longest and most powerful tendon. Moving into the muscular system with that. Or actually, I think that would have been in your skeletal system notes. It should be the Achilles tendon, right? trying to find it exactly in your notes. But the Achilles tendon should be correct for that one. Which is at your heel, connecting your like your calf muscle to your heel. And what are muscles that you can control? There are some muscles you can't control, like your heart and your lungs. They just continue working on their own. What are the muscles that you can control, like the movement of your arms? They're called voluntary muscles. Voluntary. What are the muscles that you cannot control? Involuntary. Yeah. There are lots of voluntary muscles, lots of involuntary muscles. There's one type of cardiac muscle. Do you know what it is? That's right, the heart. You might have heard of like a cardiologist as a doctor who's working on the heart. That is, I don't know actually if it comes from Latin or Greek, but that would be from the same base word. Cardiac means your heart, has to do with the circulatory system. What is an organ that weighs about 3 pounds and is the command center of the body? Your brain, yes. Now, when the nerves cause the body to react automatically without even thinking about it, what is that called? A reflex, that's right. Like closing your eyes when you see a ball coming right at your face, or flinching, moving away. Those are reflexes. Not reflect, reflex. Flowing connective tissue that carries nutrients, gases, wastes, and other material. What is that? Flowing connective tissue. Should be blood, but yes. I had to double check that one, but yes. That is flowing connective tissue that carries all sorts of things throughout your body. What is it that carries blood away from the heart? Carries blood away from the heart. I'm going to have to make sure I've got these two right. So we've got arteries and veins. Arteries carry blood away, artery, and veins carry them to. Artery, vein. You might think of it just for a simple little solution to this. You think maybe of things, it's like the blood is starting in the heart, even though it's circulatory, so there's not really a starting point. But if the blood starts in the heart, you would start with the letter A to begin, right? That whole process starts with the letter A. And then V is almost at the end of the alphabet. That is the last step, carrying blood back to the heart. So A, start of the alphabet, is the beginning of the blood flow, and V is when it ends, or about that. Anyway, I get those mixed up, arteries and veins, which one carries them away from, which one carries it to, so hopefully that can help. What is it to take in oxygen? Take in oxygen. Let me make sure I've got these ones right too. Yeah, just, so inhale is when you're taking in the oxygen, and the opposite of that is exhale. That's when you're releasing carbon dioxide. Exhale, inhale. Okay. Inhale, exhale. Now for these next ones, you can have obviously a few different things that you could be writing, and it's not going to have to be exactly like what I said, but this would guide you hopefully. Describe one of the systems that we learned about, that we have learned about. So we've learned about all these systems: muscular system, skeletal system, circulatory, respiratory, digestive, excretory, nervous. Nervous is on my mind more since we just talked about it. So if you wanted to say something like, the nervous system involves the brain and other nerves that run throughout your body. Your brain sends messages to the different parts of your body. If you were interested in the right brain, left brain activity that we talked about with the brain, you could do that. You could talk about the parts of the brain and what different things that they do. So it's not like there's one thing you have to write about here. Just tell me what you learned about that body system. Maybe whatever you found especially interesting about it. Name the 3 parts of the brain is next. So that goes along with what we were just talking about. So the 3 parts of the brain are, let me write these out directly. We've got the brain stem is that little tiny base. And then the back of your head, back of your brain, sorry, is the cerebellum. Cerebellum. And then the main top part of your brain is the cerebrum. Okay, so it's got to be those 3. That was on a quiz, and some of you did not get that quite right, which is okay, but it should be those 3 parts. Brain stem is what connects it to the spinal cord. And then you've got the cerebellum in the back, and then cerebrum is the main larger part on top. Okay, give one example when voluntary muscles are used and one example of when involuntary muscles are used. You could say something like this. For voluntary, kicking a soccer ball. All right, you're making a conscious decision to kick that soccer ball in a specific direction, using different parts of your body to really have your whole body working at it. Now for involuntary, you could say like your heart or your brain or your lungs. Let's write lungs actually. Inhaling or not in, well, yeah. There are some times when you're consciously inhaling and exhaling, but that's also involuntary. That, like, if you're not thinking about it, you're still doing it. Inhaling and exhaling would be, oh, actually, sorry. Yeah, okay, so for voluntary and involuntary, I'm going to remove muscles because we're looking for just actions here. Like, what are some examples of them in use? Inhaling and exhaling would be one example, or blood circulating is another example. Okay, here is the human eye. You guys just did this, so hopefully this is pretty easy. We've got some different labels here. I'm zooming in to see. So the outer layer is your cornea. Let me actually just pull up. So the outer layer is your cornea. That is the protective outer part of the eye. And then the iris is the main colorful part of your eye. I'm going to make sure I got this lined up. Okay, so your cornea is the part that's the outermost layer. If we're going in order, I guess this is number 2. Retina is there at the back of the eye. So that should be your retina back there. And then number 3 right here is the iris. That's the main colorful part of your eye. Number 4, I'm sorry, I probably won't end. Oh, and this is number 1. This is number 4. Number 1 is your optic nerve. So that's the nerve connecting your eye to your brain. So it runs back. So that's optic nerve back here. Sorry, I just got the numbers wrong, but as long as we're looking at the right part. So optic nerve here. This is the cornea, the outer layer. This is the iris. This 5 is going right smack dab in the middle. That's the hole in your iris that lets light in and out, or lets light in and shuts it out. That would be your pupil. The vitreous fluid is right here in the middle of the eye, vitreous fluid. And again, retina is down here in the back. And what do we have left? Lens. So this is your lens. Oh, actually, no, sorry, I got that mixed up. This is supposed to be, your lens is this, right? Number 3 is pointing to the lens back here. And this is the iris, because this is supposed to be the pupil as the opening. So iris is number 6, and this is lens right here. Okay, and then finally the skeletal system. And boys and girls, I'm actually not sure if that's going to end up being on the test. It's good for you all to know, but it's going to be hard to, like with it being a little bit blurry, trying to do it virtually is really tough. So I'm not sure if I'll end up doing that. I'll let you know. It may need to be something that's printed off again. But I'm probably leaning towards not doing it at all, even though it's good for you guys to know. Same with the skeletal system. When I've tried to do this in a quiz before, it did not work out very well virtually, but it's still obviously very good for you to know. So we've got the spinal column right here, spinal column. Your pelvic bones are right here. That's the pelvic bones. Skull right here. Your tailbone is right here. Femur right here, the largest bone in your body. And finally, rib cage right here, rib cage. Okay, and that is all for the study guide. I know that was pretty fast. Some of these are just directly from your notes, but hope that helped. And let me know if you've got any other questions. I have not finalized every part of the science test because to do it virtually, it's just going to make some changes. So I'll let you know by tomorrow when you take the test about the diagrams, but probably we're going to kind of avoid doing that since it does not translate over to the test very well. But hopefully you know your bones and you know the parts of the eye, right? Okay, well, have a wonderful day, boys and girls. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.